And so they were able to play Pennsgrove, the 13 seed, at home, and also won that game 5-3. We'll talk about the dramatics in that game momentarily. And then this 8th-seeded Gateway team upset the top seed Riverside 7-3 in the last round, giving Wildwood a third home state playoff game when, if the brackets had held to form, they would have only gotten that first-round game at home. So it's been kind of on this side of the bracket anyway, it's been kind of a wild ride. The other side has pretty much held to form. Pennsville, the 2 seed, playing Haddon Heights, the 3 seed. So the winner of this game between Wildwood and Gateway, regardless, will be playing on Friday in the South Jersey Championship game on the road, as the winner of the Haddon Heights-Pennsville game will play at home on Friday. And talking about the dramatics, buddy, Brendan Bean, his long 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 7th, a walk-off variety, to give Wildwood that win over Pennsgrove in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, Brian, that happened in the bottom of the 7th. In that game on Friday, and when Brendan Bean hit the ball, he knew it was out. Everybody here that was at the game at Maxwell knew it was going to leave the park. It was just a question of how far would it travel.
Yeah, so and it was his first ever high school home run. Brendan is without question one of the better players, certainly one of the best underclassmen in all of South Jersey. He is really, really having a year. He has 19 extra base hits for the season and is batting .533. He leads South Jersey in triples with 6, and he's among the top 5 in doubles with 12. He is certainly, as we said, one of the top players in South Jersey. He has already committed to play college baseball at the University of Penn, even though he's only a sophomore. One of the other Warrior stars is Chris Moore-Milley, and he will get the start today on the mound for the Warriors. And he's a junior right-hander, and you wouldn't necessarily know it by his body type, buddy, but he can hit 90 on the radar gun. And he comes into the game. He comes into the game with a 2.29 ERA and is among South Jersey's leaders in wins. He is 8-3 on the season, and he has been lights out over the last month. He was actually battling a little bit of a back injury through the month of April, but since he's gotten healthy, he's been virtually untouchable. Over his last 25 innings or so, he's only allowed 2 earned runs, and he actually had a scoreless string of about 19 straight innings at one point a couple of weeks ago. And he is rested and ready to go. He threw 1 inning on Friday to get the win in that game over Pennsgrove. So his arm is pretty fresh for today, and Rich Hans is certainly, the Wildwood coach, certainly hoping for a good start out of him. Wildwood comes in at 19-11. Gateway, coached by Frank Alloway, is 9-13. Nick Ruiz will get the start on the mound for Gateway. And they will bat first, of course, as the opposing team here at Maxwell Field. And Ruiz has thrown 27 innings this year, and he's only allowed 5 earned runs. But one thing he has done this year, buddy, is he's given up 27 walks, so that's a walk per inning. So we'll see how patient the Warriors can be and see if they can try to exploit Ruiz's wildness as he has shown in the past. Your fielders for Wildwood behind Chris Moore-Milley. James Gruhl is the catcher. Brendan Bean, as we mentioned, is playing first base. Andrew Moore-Milley is at second base. Shortstop is Justin Soto. Mikhail Poteet is at third base. And in the outfield, Anthony Corabellis in left, Kevin Wright in center, and Tyler Gentek in right field. Billy Boley will be a DH in the lineup, and we'll give you the Warrior lineup as they bat in the bottom of the first.
And, Brian, again, Gateway coming down here in this game. A big, big win, obviously beating the number 1 seed. But these Gateway Gators, they play in a tough conference, a tough division, and they're on a bit of a roll, and they want to see that roll continue against like opponents. Gateway and Wildwood. Gateway's 1-4. And Wildwood is 2-4, and I'll go over that after the first we get started here.
Shane Hughes leads it off for Gateway. First pitch by Chris Moore-Milley as a fastball for a strike. The umpires for the game are Dan Tokolish, he's behind the plate, and Dave Borton is the base umpire.
Shane Hughes comes into this contest this afternoon hitting at .361.
And Moore-Milley's ahead of him, 0-2. Two good, crisp fastballs on the outside part of the plate.
Beautiful, beautiful afternoon for baseball.
That pitch is fouled off, so Hughes stays alive. It's 0-2. And big crowd on hand for this game, buddy. And we don't often see meaningful baseball being played after Memorial Day in these parts, and a lot of people are really juiced for this game. Here's a fly ball hit to center. Going back onto this Kevin Wright, he can't get it. He didn't read that correctly, and that ball was up over his head. And in the second base with a double is Shane Hughes. And Kevin Wright is by far, buddy, the fastest player on this Wildwood team, and that's a ball he probably should have had. Now, it is a very windy day today, and balls to center and right field are going to carry. So that's something to watch, and it certainly played out on that opening hit there for Shane Hughes. So man on second with nobody out. Ryan Teshko, the center fielder, up to the plate now. Fastball is high.
And again, as you said, Kevin Wright, a very speedy, pretty good defensive fielder, but he did not get a good jump, did not read that ball well at all, and it went directly over his head. So good start for the Gators.
Stealing on the play. Oh, and he's going to be out. James Gruhl throws Hughes out by about 10 feet. I think Hughes may have missed a sign there. Yeah, and it looks like the third base coach is looking down at an armband. And Hughes was out by 10 feet there. That's a big, big play for the Warriors there. And certainly a base running mistake for Gateway, making the first out at third base. Here's a bouncing ball over the head of Mikhail Poteet for a base hit. One pitch after that, after Hughes was thrown out trying to steal, he probably scores on that hit, buddy.
Without a doubt, Brian. That nice throw by Jimmy Grau, the catcher, definitely saved the Warriors from dropping behind here 1-0, because that would have scored the runner from second. So Grau picks up his teammate Kevin Wright. Moore-Milley with a quick move over to first.
One thing Wildwood's pitchers do, buddy, and they have a 2.83 ERA as a team. This is a very good pitching team, but their pitchers hold runners well. Batting now is Kevin Teshko for Gateway. Teshko comes in batting .400 for the season. And 20 hits and 50 at-bats. Count is 1 to Teshko. We have 1 out. Gateway runner on first. Top of the first, no score. Good pitch by Moore-Milley. Outside corner at the knees. It's 1-1.
Good job that time, too. It's one thing the senior catcher, Grau, does very well, Brian. He shows a good target, and him and Moore-Milley work well together.
That pitch is outside, 2-1 now on Kevin Teshko, the 3-hitter for Gateway. Winner of this game, as we said earlier, headed to the South Jersey Group 1 Championship game. This broadcast being brought to you by Ulmer's Appliance. Call them for all of your appliance needs in Cape May County. Here's a pop-up straight up in the air, and the wind is going to play tricks with this, and it's going to fall in. But they're going to get a force out at second base. Chris Moore-Milley did a good job of regaining his composure. That ball looked like it was hit straight up in the air, and the wind blew it about 20 feet back into fair territory. It bounced, and Moore-Milley turns it into a fielder's choice by throwing to second base for the force.
And as you said, Brian, Moore-Milley did a good job of not panicking. He knew he had plenty of time to get the force at second. He was kind of, because the runner was on first, the second baseman nor the first baseman could commit to come in and help him on that pop fly, so he was kind of left out there by himself.
Pitch is low for a ball, and the interesting thing, buddy, is when the ball was hit, Moore-Milley looked in at James Gruhl, the catcher, thinking that the ball was straight up in the air and it was going to be his catcher's play. And then the next time he looked up, the ball was actually back over his head. But a good job recovering. This has been kind of a strange first inning so far. We've had a runner thrown out at third attempting to steal with nobody out. And now we have a pop-up that lands fair that turns into a fielder's choice for an out. So 2 outs and a runner on first. Millie's pitch is in the dirt. This is Dan Ream, the cleanup hitter for Gateway, batting .343 on the season. Millie, that one is well outside, and it's ball 4 anyway, so the runners will move up.
So that's going to put runners on first and second. The Gateway coach, third base coach, comes down to have a little conversation with Zach Reddy. Reddy, the first baseman, left-hander, steps into the box. Gateway would like to really take advantage, obviously being here on the road and getting runners on base here in the top of the first.
So Zach Reddy stands in. Millie starts in with a strike. And certainly this is a pretty big at-bat here early in this game right now. Nothing in the first, but Gateway has a pair of runners on at first and second with 2 outs. Millie stretches. Curveball is a little bit inside. And it's 1-1.
And Reddy, one of the RBI leaders on this Gateway Gator team.
And we have no pitch there. Well, there was a timeout called. So 1-1 on Zach Reddy. Bouncing ball toward first. Bean, tough play, and makes it. That was a tough short hop, buddy, and he made a nice play to end the inning. Here's Gateway in the field. As we said, it's Nick Ruiz behind the plate. On the mound. Mark Hausman is the catcher behind the plate. Zach Reddy is at first base. Kevin Teschko at second. Dan Reams at shortstop. Connor Flynn is at third base. Devin Farron in left field. Center field is Ryan Teschko, and in right field is Shane Hughes. And leading off for Wildwood is the sophomore second baseman, Andrew Millie. Ruiz, the left-hander, winds and fires, and his first pitch is high. And second pitch is down low. And we said at the top, Ruiz has 27 walks in his 27 innings pitched. And he's 3-0 on the first batter here. So Andrew Millie, who Rich Hans, the Wildwood coach, has said has been a great spark for the Warriors. And at the top of the lineup ever since he moved them there, doesn't even have to take the bat off his shoulder and works a walk to start the game. And that'll bring up his older brother, Chris, with a runner on first and nobody out. No score here in the bottom of the first. Wildwood and Gateway, South Jersey Group 1 semifinal.
Andrew Millie doing exactly what you want your leadoff hitter to do. Working that walk to start off this game for Wildwood. Then he draws a throw from the catcher.
Chris Millie is quickly in the hole, 0-2. He squared the bunt and took a strike on the first one and then swings and misses at that one. Chris Millie comes into this game as Wildwood's second leading hitter at .354 on the season, and he has 13 extra base hits, including a triple that he hit in the win over Pennsgrove.
And he has driven in 18 runs.
That ball's low and in on Millie, so it's 1-2.
Pitcher for Gateway trying to get Millie to chase.
That pitch is high, so it's now 2-2. And, of course, buddy, you and I are seated in the comforts of the Chris Goat Del Rossi press box here along the, should it be, say, snack stand. Mormilli, fly ball to left center field, and again, there's a lot of wind out there. It's deep, and it's over the head of the center fielder. Andrew Mormilli turns second, he'll be at third, and Chris ends up at second with a double. And we've seen our second in as many half innings, the second wind-aided double into the center field area.
Yeah, and that's something right now, especially being it's amazing. The different areas that you play games in South Jersey. Back here, this field sits by the bay, but today we have a strong wind coming off of the ocean, and it's blowing out to all fields.
Second and third, nobody out. The last time Brendan Bean took a swing in a game, he hit a 380-foot home run into the street out in right field. 2 curveballs, both are out of the zone. And now Bean in a very advantageous situation here at 2-0, and he will be sitting dead red here. Another curveball is high. It's now 3-0.
And right now, the Gateway pitcher obviously wants to stay away.
You wonder here if Rich Hans would give Brendan a green light. No, that ball was right down the middle. He didn't look like he was swinging at all, so it's now 3-1. Second and third, nobody out in the bottom of the first. A walk and a double for the Warriors so far. Bean gets a curveball, hits a hard ground ball to first, and he will get an RBI. That's a nice play down there by the first baseman, ranging to his left, Zach Reddy. But Brendan Bean will get an RBI on the ground out. And Wildwood takes an early 1-0 lead, and they still have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Gateway was conceding that run. They had the infield back. And now this will bring up Anthony Corabellis, the 4-hitter.
And as you said, Zach Reddy did a good job. One, he got the out, and he was looking at the plate to see if there was a possibility, but he made a good decision not throwing the ball just to throw the ball to the catcher for the sake of throwing the ball. Sometimes kids will do that, but he held on to it, which was the right thing, right thing
Yeah,
to do.
if he was going to try to get the runner at home, he was going to have to give up getting the out at first and throw that right away. 2-0 to Corabellis. And Ruiz has been behind 3 of the first 4 hitters he's faced. Fastball swing and a miss. 2-1 now on Anthony Corabellis. Chris Mormilli at third. He doubled. Wildwood already has a run in on Brendan Bean's RBI ground out. Curveball for a strike. That was a good pitch there. Down in the count, 2-1, and Ruiz evens it.
And right now, Corabellis just needs to hit the ball hard somewhere.
And he fouls it back. Stays alive there, 2-2.
He's got a teammate down there on third base with 1 out, Brian. And right now, I know Coach Richie Hans here taking out for a run.
Yeah, and Gateway's conceding this run as well. They have their infield back, and Chris Mormilli can run. So a ground ball in the infield is almost certainly, unless maybe if it's stung right at the third baseman, is almost certainly going to result in a run. Swing and a miss, though, and Corabella strikes out. That's a big strikeout.
And that was ball 3. He got Corabellis to go fishing down low, and that would have been ball 3. But nonetheless, Corabellis went after, and as you said, Brian, that's a big strikeout.
And now Gateway can see themselves out of this inning. Wildwood had second and third with nobody out. And Ruiz starts Gruel with a curveball for a strike. And Wildwood has a run in, but Warriors certainly would want to at least get this one more in after the situation they were in earlier in the inning. Another curveball is high. And James Gruel, the junior, and he's had himself a pretty good season, batting .284. Pops one up, though. And we'll see if this goes out of play. No, and it comes back over the first baseman's head. And Zach Reddy can't come up with it. Again, the wind playing tricks with that. And one thing about Gruel, hitting 284, buddy, but he has provided a lot of RBIs for this Warrior team.
Well, he's hit 8 doubles. He's got about 23 RBIs, and he has scored 11 runs.
And he stays alive there. He got out in front on a curveball and did well just to get a piece and spoil it.
And he's caught a lot of innings. This team has played 30 games already.
Right.
And he has a heck of a pitching staff to manage as well.
Yes.
It's a lot of responsibility.
1-2 to Gruel. That ball's low, 2-2.
And as
good idea there by Ruiz. He threw a couple of off-speed pitches and then tried to throw a fastball by him. 2-2 now to Gruel. Curveball low, maybe inside as well. And it's now 3-2. That ball was close, though.
Gruel works a full count.
And he walks. That ball was low.
So good eye that time. And again, being a catcher, that's what we want to see. A catcher with a good eye at the plate.
And now Kevin Wright. And one thing about Gruel as well, buddy, is Rich Hans won't necessarily put a courtesy runner in for him, even though he is the catcher. Gruel is a plus runner. He's a very good athlete. Played fullback and some tight end on the football team. First and third situation, Gruel does go. Wright swings and misses. They do not throw through. The shortstop comes up and cuts it off, but Gruel will take the stolen base. And now Rich Hans will send the courtesy runner in to get Gruel ready for the next inning. And it's Olaf Ferrier, who transferred from Wildwood Catholic before the year. Before the season, I should say, not before the school year. Kevin Wright is down 0-1 in the count. He missed the game on Friday. He's normally the team's starting center fielder, and he missed the Friday playoff game due to a death in the family. Right, bouncing ball to first. And Reddy, it handcuffed him. He was able to recover in time to get the speedy right at first base. So Wildwood kind of misses out on an opportunity there. They had second and third with nobody out in the inning, and they only get one run in, and they lead it 1-0. After one inning. All right, so it's top of the second inning here. Here's Ryan Flem, the DH. And Mormuli starts in with a ball. Second pitch is a strike at the knees. One thing we could tell with Ruiz and Mormili, buddy, both of these players, pitchers, like to work quickly. There's a line drive hit into center field. So Gateway already with 3 hits in this game, and they get their leadoff hitter on for the second straight inning.
Now it's a good job, too, that time by Ryan. He's hitting about 300 as he comes to the plate and just smacked that ball right back up the middle.
Mike Offenbacher will come in as a pinch runner. And that's not a courtesy runner because you can use a courtesy runner for the pitcher or catcher. So Flem can re-enter the game once if Gateway chooses to do so. But if he's taken out again, he would be done for the day. So Offenbacher at first with nobody out, and this is Devin Farron. And he tries to bunt and bunts through it for strike one.
And Farron, he comes to the plate. He is hitting .302, and this is one of the Gateway Gators you really don't want to allow to get on the bases. He leads the team in steals with 10. He has scored 12 runs, give or take. Again, these stats are officially unofficial.
One strike to Devin Farron.
Another strong move over to first base by Mormili.
Foul ball, and that'll go out of play. And Farron helped more Millie there. He went, swung at a ball above his hands and fouled it off. And, buddy, you mentioned the good moves that more Millie has shown as a right-hander at the first base. You know, Offenbacher on that last pitch, buddy, was only about a step and a half away from the bag on his lead. You see how short his lead is over there at first base. Curveball is a little high.
And a lot goes into that, Brian, when you get your runner that's on the base paths to not take a big lead that cuts down that running lead. They can that secondary lead.
The scoreboard here shows 2-1, but the count is 2-2 to Devin Farron. And Mormilli overthrows that fastball, and now it's a full count.
And that secondary lead is obviously very important, especially when you got a pinch runner that has come in to run here on first for the Gators.
Swinging a foul, and that caught Gruhl, looks like in the side of the leg. Yes. All right, so Gruhl's okay, and he stays in the game after getting some treatment. And now we have a 3-2 pitch coming here. Runner goes. The ball is poked into left field for a hit. And the runner is going to be able to get the going to second with a double is Devin Farron.
And Farron just went with that pitch. Did a good job just going with the pitch on the outside part of the plate. Stroked it right there down the line in left field. And Corabellis, by the time he got to it, the batter was able to slide into second safely.
Ball one now to Mark Hausman, the catcher. He's the number 8 hitter. And Gruhl is going to go out and talk to Mormilli. And Mormilli is certainly not as sharp as he's been over the last few weeks. And everything he's throwing today, buddy, seems to be up. His strikes are all up in the zone. Ground ball to short. That's going to get a run home. Soto fires the first. The runner is safe. They throw back behind the runner at second. He is safe. Soto an error on that play as he did not field it cleanly. That will be an RBI for Hausman, and he reaches on the error. And it's still first and second now with nobody out. And the thing is, this is the bottom of Gateway's lineup too, buddy, that's doing this. And the 9-hitter, Connor Flynn, up to the plate.
Well, Frank Alloway, the coach of the Gators, I mean, obviously this is the type of stuff you want to be able to see, is the bottom of your lineup contribute and scratch. And any way they can, get runners on and make things happen. And that's right now what Gateway has been able to do.
Flynn bunts. It's in the air. Bean catches, and the runners have to retreat. So Flynn pops out on the sacrifice bunt attempt. And that's a big out there for Wildwood.
Absolutely.
And you know how it is at the high school level, buddy, when you're 6, 7, 8, 9 to start an inning like Gateway was. If you're Wildwood, that's an inning you need to get through cleanly. And right now Gateway has a run in. Runners on first and second, and now their leadoff hitter is up. He hits a ball to second. This could be 2. Oh, Mormilli throws to Soto. He drops it. Soto throws home. It's late. And everybody's safe. That was a dead to rights double play ball, and Justin Soto rushed it and dropped it.
And Gateway now takes a 2-1 lead on a pair of errors by the sophomore shortstop, Justin Soto. And just as Brian was calling, it looked like they were going to turn a double play, Wildwood, which they would have gotten out of that inning tied at 1, but that didn't happen as Soto dropped the exchange on second. And Gateway being very, very alert. You know, you got to give the third base coach, their head coach, Frank Alloway, a lot of credit. He kept his guy going, and he was able to score from second.
Ryan Teshko, the 2-hitter, who singled in his first at-bat, he fouls one back. It's 1-1 now.
Top of the second, South Jersey Group 1 semifinal playoff action here at Maxwell Field. Wildwood and Gateway.
Curveball is low. And, you get to the point in the season, buddy, and we talk about this all the time, and this is part of the reason why we don't have in many years high-level baseball teams down here. Here's a ball hit the Poteet at third. He stumbled a bit and then made the right play by just going and taking the force out at third. So a good play there by Poteet. He wanted to go for 2, but once he stumbled, he made the right play to get the force at third base. But one of the things that we talk about, buddy, is, Wildwood really didn't practice over the weekend in terms of being on the field. Gruel drops that first pitch strike, or was it a ball? I'm not sure. And it's a pass ball, and that'll move runners up to second and third.
And again, 2 outs, but still an opportunity with the 3-hole hitter at bat, Kevin Teshko.
So second and third with 2 outs. Gruel drops it again, but doesn't go far enough for runners to move up. And the one thing we were talking about, we have time out here, is that, with so many kids on this Memorial Day weekend down here at the Shore having to work, Wildwood was not able to have a full practice. They had 2 different sessions on Sunday and Monday just for their kids to come in and hit. But they did not have any fielding practice over the weekend, and they have been shaky in the field in this one to start. And sometimes, too, buddy, you wonder, this is a moment here where none of these kids have been in
absolutely.
At this level.
And the other thing, Teshko is a 400 hitter.
That ball was outside, though.
Teshko is, as I said, a 400 hitter. He's about 50 at-bats coming into this game, 20 hits.
Wow, Wildwood wanted that one on the curveball and didn't get it. And now it's 3-2.
Dan Ream is on deck.
3-2 pitch here. Ball 4.
Mormilli really tried to bring a lot of extra on that one, Brian, and it got away from him.
Yeah, and as I said, buddy, he continues to be way up in the zone on his fastball today. And now here's Dan Ream. He walked his first time up, but this is the cleanup hitter batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs. There's a ball.
And Ream is hitting .343. He is the leading RBI.
And you can tell Mormilli right now is getting a little frustrated with the strike zone. And he throws that one too far outside. It's 2-0. And you know what? Wildwood coach Rich Hans wanted to get a good 5 innings out of Mormilli today, but this is one of those deals where, you know how it is, buddy, 1-game elimination. It gets late early. Oh, boy, that ball is drilled to left field, but Corabellis playing deep right in front of the warning track hauls it in for the 3rd out. And Wildwood dodges a major bullet there.
Ream did get all that one, the big cleanup hitter, but as you said, Brian, Corabellis had that one played perfectly as he was deep right there before the warning track, and that would have been a real big hit if that ball would have been in the gap.
All right, Billy Boley, the DH, leading off for Wildwood to start the 2nd inning. As Wildwood has its 7, 8, 9 hitters coming to the plate here in the 2nd inning. Fastball is high. So 2-0. And that one's in the dirt, 3-0. So Billy Boley, the leadoff hitter, he'll certainly stand there and take at least one strike. Left-hander against left-hander. There's a strike down the middle. So 3-1 to Boley. Bottom second, Wildwood trails Gateway 2-1. And Boley takes another fastball for a strike. It's 3-2, but Boley doing a good job here of making Ruiz throw strikes. Now he swings at ball 4 and strikes out. So 1 out. And up to the plate now is Mikhail Poteet, the third baseman. Takes a curveball for a strike. Another curveball, and Poteet fouls that one off. O2 pitch to Poteet is low and in on a fastball. Ball 1. Curveball is high and away. So 2-2 now to Mikhail Poteet, the third baseman. 2-1 game. Gateway leads bottom of the second here at Maxwell Field, South Jersey Group 1 baseball semifinal. Fastball is high. So 3-2 now on Mikhail Poteet. And swing and a miss. So Nick Ruiz goes 3-2 on the first 2 hitters, but gets them both swinging to start the bottom of the second. And the 9 hitter for Wildwood, shortstop Justin Soto, stands in.
Ruiz keeps getting him to chase that low pitch. It's very hard for the Warriors to lay off of, but it would be ball 4 in that situation.
Well, Poteet's pitch was a strike, but the batter before Boley, he swung at ball 4. And Soto now is ahead 2-0. You can tell Wildwood is standing in there and taking pitches until they get a strike. As they looked at the stats, I'm sure, as we did. Ruiz has had a penchant for walking quite a few batters this season. Soto takes a strike there. He still leads in the count, 2-1. Ball inside. And it's now 3-1 to Justin Soto, the 9 hitter for Wildwood, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And he takes a strike, 3-2. Soto does a nice job to foul that one off. Stays alive, 3-2 on the Wildwood sophomore shortstop. Soto will play shortstop or second base for Wildwood, depending on who pitches. And ball 4. Soto, pretty good at bat there. So he takes that one inside. And that'll bring up Andrew Mormilli, the leadoff hitter.
And Mormilli walked in his first plate appearance and scored a run. He scored Wildwood's lone run in the bottom of the first.
You know, buddy, this might not be a bad situation here to try to send the runner. You have Wildwood's leadoff hitter at the plate, and you might want to try to get him in the scoring position. If he gets thrown out, you start the next inning with your leadoff batter at the plate. So we'll see. And Soto's a pretty decent runner. Most middle infielders are. But he doesn't seem to be reading Ruiz's move very well. So
he's getting a pretty big initial lead off of first base. There he goes.
Does go. He gets a bad jump, though, and he's going to be out. Oh, bad throw, though. throw was high. Soto spun his wheels on his jump, but the throw from the catcher, Hausman, was high. And Hausman knew he had a lot of time. He actually took his time, tried to make a good throw, and threw it high. And Soto, I believe, may have gotten spiked there. He went headfirst into the bag, and it looks like maybe one of the Gateway infielders may have landed on his hand. But he will take the stolen base. And Andrew Mormilly now, a base hit, could potentially score the tying run for Wildwood here, 2 outs in the second. And he fouls one off. That would have been ball 3. Tried to check his swing on a high pitch.
And Andrew knew it. He knew it. He was not happy, but it's tough. It's something, that was like an in-betweener type pitch. They're tough to lay off of, but as you called it, it would have been a ball.
So instead of 3-1, it's 2-2 to Andrew Mormilly. Curveball is high, so now it's 3-2. Runner at second with 2 outs. 3-2 pitch from Ruiz. Fastball popped in the air, not very high, and Ruiz is under it and makes the catch and gets out of the inning. So after 2, it is Gateway 2, Wildwood 1. First pitch by Chris Mormilly is a strike to Zach Reddy, the number 5 hitter. He grounded out to first base his first time up. Mormilly, pretty good curveball there. He had Reddy way out in front, and he pulled it foul. And Mormilly is ahead 0-2.
Reddy coming into this game hitting at .333.
And a swing and a miss. That was one of Mormilly's best fastballs of the game, buddy, and that's his first strikeout. And for the first time, they get the leadoff hitter out to start an inning here in the third.
And that was obviously a good sequence of pitches for Chris. 3 pitches, and he gets himself a strikeout, getting ready, swinging. And obviously, Coach Rich Hans wants to see, for the Warriors, wants to see Mormilly settle down so he can get those innings out of him that we were talking about.
Here's a pop-up by Ryan Flem, who re-entered the game. Oh, and it falls in. And again, the wind playing tricks out there. And in the area where that ball landed, buddy, the center fielder's got to go get that. And Anthony Corabellis came in late to try to get it. But Kevin Wright really has to make a play on that. That ends up as a bloop single. And Wright.
Well, there, Brian, you're right, absolutely right, because you got two you got the left fielder and the center fielder. They're both seniors. Kevin Wright, the center fielder, needed to come in aggressively, call everybody off, and make the play. You cannot be tentative. That ball's not going to get by you for one.
And that's right. And that's a situation there where Wildwood should be facing 2 outs and nobody on base, and now there's a runner on first and 1 out. And when you're in a 1-run playoff game, buddy, anytime you got a runner on base, it's a scoring threat. And Will Negron comes in to pinch run for Ryan Flem. And I know these high school rules can be a little crazy, but that's the second time Flem's been pinch run for, so I believe he can't come back into the game, right?
That's the way I would understand it. He is their designated hitter as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Taking a ball there was Devin Farron on a bunt attempt, and James Gruhl probably should have pulled the trigger throwing down the first. I think he had Negron dead to rights.
And I agree with you. And if he would have thrown it when Coach Rich Hans said, throw it, but he wasn't thinking along the same lines as Coach Hans. After he heard that, he did, but then it was too late.
Pitch high and away. And now it's 3-1.
And again, this plays on the pitcher a little bit when you have plays like that in the outfield there, Brian. When guys think it's going to be an out as a thrower, as the pitcher, and then your team just kind of has a gathering around the ball and let it drop. Sometimes it's a little bit psychological. The pitcher says, "Well, what do I got to do to get it out? Run out there and catch it myself?"
Oh, that's close play there. Mormilli nearly picked off Negron on that move. By the way, buddy, as it usually happens for many of our broadcasts, Paul J. Franco from high atop the penthouse is tuned in on the computer here, watching this very special baseball playoff broadcast brought to you by Omer's Appliance. That ball was fouled off by Farron, so it's now 2-2 actually to Devin Farron with a runner on first and one out here in the third inning. 2-2 pitch is popped up. This is going to be a tough play behind third base, and it's going to fall in for a hit. You couldn't have thrown it in there any better. And Poteet, with the bunt threat, although there were 2 strikes on the batter, was playing up a little bit. And it's over his head, and the shortstop Soto couldn't get there, and it drops in for a hit. And now all of a sudden, Gateway has first and second with one out, and that's going to send Wildwood coach Rich Hans out to the mound. And watching this replay here, Poteet had a long way to go to try to get there, and he could not make the play down the third base line.
Well, and as you said, Brian, they could not have placed that ball in a better spot than Gateway.
Right, and what you have, too, buddy, is you have a situation here where the way the wind is blowing today, as you mentioned, out to pretty much all fields, the outfielders for Wildwood are playing very deep, so Corabellis, the left fielder, really had no shot at that ball.
Well, and again, too, in the first inning, we saw a ball hit by Gateway, went right over Kevin Wright's head. Then when the Warriors came to the plate in the bottom of the inning, they did the same thing into left field. The left fielder for Gateway, hit what would have been a routine normal fly ball, but the wind took it out over his head. So it is wise to back up, and you're going to sacrifice what's going to happen in front of you when you're trying to take away extra bases from going over your head.
Mark Hausman, who reached on an error in the last inning, is up at the plate now. He fouls one off. He's down in the count 0-1. 2-1 Gateway. They have runners on first and second here in the top of the third. Mormilli, good pitch there. And Hausman was really tied up on that one. He couldn't put a very good swing on it, and he's now down 0-2 in the count. It was almost
whatever Mark Hausman thought was coming.
He didn't get it.
No,
yeah,
he guessed right.
He looked like he was guessing off speed, and he got a fastball. And there's a curveball low and away. And Mormilli's curveball, buddy, is actually more of a slider. It doesn't have that 12-6 break. 1-2 pitch is a fastball on the outside corner. He may have taken something off of that. That may have been a little off speed, actually. And he gets the strikeout looking for a big second out of this inning. And now he's got the 9-hitter to try to get out of this inning here in the third. And he has been in trouble in all 3 innings here. And here's Connor Flynn with runners on first and second and 2 outs. And he gets a first pitch fastball for a strike.
Yeah, that last pitch he got when he got the batter looking definitely was off speed. I know he toys with a little bit of a changeup.
1 strike pitch to Flynn is a bit inside. 1-1 to the third baseman, Connor Flynn.
Wildwood needs to get out of this inning, not allowing Gateway to score.
That was thrown way outside by Mormilli. And that is a wild pitch, and the runners move up to second and third. So that'll make it a little more difficult, takes away the force at all bases in the infield. So any ground ball, Wildwood will have to make a play at first. One pitch is outside.
Jimmy Grawl doing a good job. He tried to frame that a little bit. He tried to pull it back in.
It's actually 3-1 now to the 9-hitter, Connor Flynn. There's a strike. So 3-2.
Yeah, he just came right down the pike with that one.
You know, at some point, too, buddy, when you're at the bottom of people's lineups, you just have to throw fastballs for strikes and make those kids 7, 8, 9 hit it. And Mormilli throws one there, and Flynn spoils it, fouling it off to the right side over the sparkling Byrne Community Center.
And what a beautiful afternoon it is here at the Maxwell Field Complex.
3-2 pitch is ball 4. It's high. That'll turn the lineup over and bring up Shane Hughes, who's 1 for 2 with a double. He reached on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. And he got bases loaded here with 2 outs. And again, another huge spot. Still early in this game. Gateway leading by a run here in the top of the 3rd inning. And, you know, again, buddy, you know, you wonder if Rich Hans is contemplating going to Brendan Bean at some point a little earlier in this game. There's a ball hit the center field in the air. Kevin Wright looks like he has a beat on it, and he makes the catch in right center. Ball was hit pretty deep, again, aided by the wind, but Wildwood gets out of yet another jam. And that'll end the inning as Gateway does not score. Right, and the thing is, buddy, Wildwood is not a great offensive team. So, you know, they can't afford to fall behind by, 3, 4, 5 runs in a game, especially when you get this deep in the tournament against good teams.
And Gateway has done a good job, one, defensively. And first pitch, Mormilli hit a shot down the third base, which was fielded by Connor Flynn. And he throws Chris Mormilli out. So Chris swings on that first pitch, hit a shot, a hard ground ball down to the third baseman for Gateway. But Connor Flynn shows he's got some good leather down there and a very strong arm.
So here's Brendan Bean. He has an RBI on a ground out at his first at bat. And that was in the first inning when Wildwood had second and third with nobody out and ended up with only 1 run. Being ahead in the count 2-0, and he hasn't seen a fastball yet. He saw nothing but off-speed pitches in his first at-bat. Gets a fastball there, takes it for a strike, 2-1. 3-1 now to Bean. That pitch was high. And 3-1 count. Brendan Bean will certainly try to lock in here and look for a fastball in just a little small box. And it's ball 4 in the dirt. So Bean will take the walk. And Anthony Corabellis will come to the plate.
Yeah,
he struck out in his first at bat.
Bean hitting about 560 coming into this afternoon's game. And Ruiz does a good job of making sure he wasn't going to give him anything, especially at 3-1. And he tried to get him to go fishing, and Brendan laid off of it and draws the walk.
Fastball is high from Ruiz to Corabellis. So Anthony Corabellis ahead in the count 1-0.
Jimmy Growls on deck.
Pop up. And this again will be a lot of wind here, but under it is the shortstop. And putting it away for the second out is Dan Ream. So James Gruhl will bat now with 1 out. 2 outs and a runner on first base here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And again, Brian, Nick Ruiz just doing a good job out there on the hill. The lefty's throwing strikes and making sure. Again, Ruiz throwing strikes, and his team doing a good job in the field behind him. And obviously that's the recipe for success, especially on the road.
1 strike to Gruel. He fouled off that first pitch. Bean goes. Gruel bounces it right through the vacated hole at second base for a hit, and that's going to set up first and third with 2 outs for Wildwood. So Warriors catch a break there. That's an easy ground out if Bean's not running, but the second baseman, Kevin Teschko, had to go cover the bag, and it ends up as a hit, and now Wildwood with first and third and 2 outs here in the third inning.
Well, Coach Rich Hines for the Warriors put on the hit and run. You know, he got Bean in motion, and that's what you hope for. Grau was able to hit behind the runner, second baseman doing what he's supposed to do because of Bean breaking off of first, has the cover. There's a wide open hole. Jimmy Grau finds it, and now it's first and third, as you said, Brian, with 2 down, and here in the bottom of the third.
So big at bat here for Kevin Wright. And running at first is Olaf Feria, the courtesy runner for Gruel.
Kevin Wright comes into this game this afternoon hitting .283.
Bounces one towards second, and he is out at first. Good play over there by Kevin Teschko. And Gateway gets out of that little threat there by the Warriors. So 2-1 Gateway leads after 3. 2-1 Gateway as we head to the fourth.
And I'll tell you, Brian, you know, we talked about the size of the crowd. I'm very impressed, too, with the amount of people from Gateway.
Yeah, Gateway's got about 40 or 50 people here.
Yeah, Gateway brought down a nice crowd.
More Millie starts. Ryan Teschko with a strike. Teschko is 1 for 2. Singled and reached on a fielder's choice. Misses with that one.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Warrior alumnus Rob Blaker. His 2 sons went to Gateway. One's a North Wildwood lifeguard.
Oh, and more Millie catches a break there. A check swing foul on a high pitch. Teschko was certainly trying to hold back there. And it's now 1-2, more Millie ahead in the count. And he has not had a clean inning yet. He really needs one. And umpire calls Teschko on a swing, and the Gateway coaching staff and players are not happy with that. And from here, it looked like he held up, buddy. But, you know, that's, you know, covering baseball and watching baseball, I think that frustrates coaches and players.
Well, Coach,
why doesn't the home plate umpire just simply defer to the base umpire on a play like that?
Well, and that's what Coach Frank Alloway came down, the third base coach, the head coach for Gateway. He came down and asked the plate umpire, would you please ask for help? He said, and the plate umpire said, no, I got it.
Yeah. 1-1 now to Kevin Teschko, the number 3 hitter. And he took a ball and then fouled off the second pitch. That ball's hit deep to left center field. Corabellis is back. He won't get it. One bouncing off the fence. And Kevin Teschko into second base with a stand-up double.
And they were fortunate. Kevin Teschko, comes in here hitting .400, and he has some wheels. He was motoring. Thought about going for 3.
So runner on second with 1 out. And this the 4-hitter, Dan Ream, who lined out the left field in his last at-bat. 2-1, Gateway on top. Runner on second with 1 out here in the fourth inning. Good pitch there on the inside corner for a strike by Mormilly. One and 1 to Ream. Another ball hit in the air to the left, but it looked like Mormilly did a good job, got in on his hands a little bit. Runner's going to try to tag, and he will make it to third with 2 outs on a deep fly ball to left. Kevin Teschko tags and goes to third on the fly out by Dan Ream.
Well, it looked like Wildwood was a little lackadaisical on that, Brian. The shortstop should have gone out a little bit more aggressively to be, for a cutoff throw in anticipation of maybe the runner tagging.
Here's Zach Reddy. And takes a ball. Runner at third with 2 outs. 2-0 to Reddy. Reddy is 0 for 2 in the game. He is the only player that has been retired both times he has batted. Every time he's batted, I should say, in the game. Ground where Soto fields, flips to first for the out. And Wildwood gets out of another tough situation there with a runner on third and 2 outs. So the Warriors hanging in, down 2-1 after 3.5. Game 2-1.
And that first inning when Gateway was unable to score because of just some odd plays where the ball did not bounce their way, but they had runners in scoring position, and Wildwood was able to get some timely outs. So they came out of that inning with no runs. But you are absolutely right when it comes to right now. Wildwood is, if you were looking at the stat sheet, not the scoreboard, you would think Gateway was up by more than 2-1.
Boley takes a strike. Billy Boley, the left-handed batter, fouls one off, and he's down quickly 0-2. O2 pitch coming to Billy Boley from Nick Ruiz. And he bounces it right back to the pitcher. And Ruiz an easy out at first.
Very easy out. Ruiz did a good job of coming up with that one hopper right back to him. Soft toss over to his first baseman. And Boley is retired. Mikael Poteet
struck out his first time at bat. Takes a strike. And Poteet got jammed and lifts a little soft pop-up to the shortstop area, and that's an easy play for Dan Ream for the second out.
And right now, Nick Ruiz is having a very easy fourth inning. I think he's thrown about 4 pitches and has gotten 2 outs.
Soto takes the ball. And now takes a strike, so it's 1-1. Two and one now as the fastball was high. Soto walked in his first plate appearance in the second. And he takes low here, and he's ahead in the count 3-1 with Andrew Mormilli, the leadoff hitter for the Warriors, on deck. Soto takes a strike, so it's now full. And swings at ball 4 and strikes out. That ball was high, and that is the first 1-2-3 inning for either pitcher in this game. And it's 2-1 Gateway after 4 innings.
Leading off the top of the 5th. Is Zach Mezzes. And Chris Mormilli starts him off with a strike. Next pitch is inside.
Yeah, Mezzes is batting in the place vacated by Ryan Flem, who got 2 hits and was pinch run for each time earlier in the game. and he's batting in the DH spot.
So he's DHing for the DH who went 2 for 2.
That's right. Ball hit foul down the first baseline. And Mormilli ahead 1-2. And this is a situation here, buddy, where Wildwood has its leadoff bat to the plate in the 5th, and Mormilli would certainly love a clean inning here, and he throws that one low and away. 2-2. And sometimes this is a situation you got to be smart here. You have a substitute hitter into the game. You really have to make them swing the bat, and he does there, swing and a miss. And Mormilli gets his 4th strikeout, and he's gotten them all since the start of the 3rd inning.
But as you said, too, Wildwood really would like to have a 1-2-3 inning here, get through this 5th inning, pick up some momentum.
Batting now is Devin Farron. He is the number 6 hitter, but he's 2 for 2 in the game with a double and a single. Also scored a run in the 2nd. 2-0.
Coach Rich Hans yells out from the Warrior dugout. Oh, that was ball 3, but he got him swinging. Devin Farron tried to golf that one.
Chopped off the plate. This is going to be a tough play. No, they're going to say it went off of his foot, not the plate. And Farron limps away a little bit. It's 2-2 now on the left-handed batting left fielder from Gateway.
So Chris Mormilli doing a good job here, Brian, on Farron, coming back after falling down in the count, falling behind, I should say. 2-0. He's now evened it at 2-2.
Ball high, 3-2. Three-two pitch with 1 out, no base runners, is low for a ball. And Farron draws a walk, and he's on base for the 3rd time in as many plate appearances. And that'll bring up the catcher, Mark Hausman. He's 0 for 2 in the game, but he did get an RBI when he reached base on an error on a ground ball in the 2nd inning. Struck out in his other plate appearance in the 3rd. Mormilli, a pickoff attempt, throw goes away, but Bean at first is able to retrieve it fast enough so that Farron can't move up.
Good strong move again by Chris Mormilli that time. Gateway runners really have to pay attention over there when they're on first.
Swing and a miss there by Hausman. 1 strike to the Gateway catcher. Two strikes. So Mormilli gets ahead. Curveball low and away.
Tried to get him to chase.
It was too far low and away.
Hausman showing he's got a good eye.
That one's a strike. Yeah, Mormilli dropped that one in there nicely, and Hausman was frozen by it. And he strikes out looking
I guess you
for the 2nd time in the game.
You call that the Ulmer's appliance curse.
And now Connor Flynn, the 9-hitter. I'm not going to ask you why you're calling that the Ulmer's appliance curse.
Because it's not the 98.7 The Coast curse.
Oh, yeah. Line drive to center. Kevin Wright tried to make a diving catch on that and missed it. and that's going to lead to a run. Wow. Connor Flynn, we're going to give him a single and an error on right, and Farron scores all the way from first, and that is a no-no on a line drive with 2 outs in an inning.
You have to keep the ball in front of you.
He'd have been better off just playing it as a single, and they would have had first and second with 2 outs. And now the leadoff man, Shane Hughes, is up. And, this is the second time this game, buddy, that Flynn has batted as the 9-hitter with 2 outs in an inning and reaching base. And this time they score a run on it, on the hit and the error in center field by Kevin Wright.
The bottom of the order for the Gators have done a good job. Actually, they've done a great job in this baseball game here this afternoon. And they've been able to turn the lineup over and, get a run, score a run here and there. And, that's why they're winning 3-1.
3-1 now, or 2-1 now to Shane Hughes, the leadoff hitter.
The third error committed by the Warriors, and each one has been costly.
Telephone. Swing and a miss by Shane Hughes. But they do have silent mode for cell phones. I don't know if you know that, if you're aware.
I just like it adds to the ambiance.
2-2 to Shane Hughes. Curveball outside. And now a full count with a runner on second. 2 outs in the 5th. Gateway ahead 3-1. Swing and a miss. Big strike out there. And Mormilli prevents further damage. But Gateway gets a run, a hit, one very costly error by the Warriors. And they've now taken a 3-1 lead over Wildwood after 4.5 innings.
But here we are at bottom of the 5th, 3-1. Gateway on top.
Andrew Mormilli, big inning here for Wildwood. They trail 3-1, top of the order here.
And all Nick Ruiz does is continue to throw strikes.
That was high, though, 1-1. And Wildwood only has 2 hits in this game through 4 innings. And Mormilli offered at that one, so he trails in the count, down in the count 1-2. Pitch is high, 2-2 to Andrew Mormilli. And
yeah, the wind's really picking up a little bit.
3-2 now to Andrew Mormilli as he takes that one high. So Mormilli trying to work his way on any way possible here. Wildwood trailing 3-1 last of the 5th. And he pops it up. Shallow left field. And making the catch is Devin Farron for the first out. Now here's Chris Mormilli. He has doubled and grounded out in his 2 plate appearances. Curveball for a ball.
Chris would like to really help himself here. Brendan Bean is on deck.
Nearly got hit by that one, sends him scurrying out of the way. He's ahead in the count, 2-0. Takes a strike. 2-1 now to Chris Mormilli. fastball high, 3-1. And Millie really has to try to do his best, get the team's best hitter to the plate with a runner on. And it's ball 4. And, Brendan Bean, buddy, has seen just one fastball in his first 2 at-bats. But with a runner on base here, we'll see if Ruiz is more apt to challenge the Wildwood 3-hole hitter. Curveball in the dirt, 1-0.
And I would think being up 2 runs, again, this will be a time he's going to he's going to be very careful with Bean.
Popped it up, foul. Will it get out of play? Yes. And Bean uncharacteristically there, but he went out of the strike zone. For a sophomore in high school, he has exceptional strike zone awareness. One and one to Bean. Curveball or high, fastball high.
Well, you know what happens, too. You get in a situation, we're getting a little late in the game. He's got a runner on first. They've only have 2 hits.
Bean drives one to right center field. That's deep. It is gone.
Wow.
Brendan Bean's second home run in as many state playoff games has tied it at 3-3. And another long one to one of the deepest parts of Maxwell Field in right center. And a Gateway team that has dominated this game finds itself tied at 3 with Wildwood in the bottom of the 5th.
And, that was a Brendan Bean bomb to right center, and there was no doubt about it. Wow. And just like that, one swing of the bat.
Buddy, his home run the other day against Pensgrove was kind of a majestic shot that was hit way in the air and deep. This one was like it was shot out of a cannon. And that, believe it or not, buddy, here in right center at Maxwell Field is actually the deepest part of the park. It's about 390 to right center, whereas center field is 380. Here's Anthony Corabellis. Takes a strike. But we are tied at 3 after a monster home run by Brendan Bean. Corabellis offers at that.
1 out, bottom of the 5th. We are now tied at 3. Corabellis at the plate. Count is 0-2. One swing of the bat. Well, I think Nick Ruiz would like to have that pitch back.
No question. And again, buddy, you had the runner on first there, and Ruiz came in with a fastball, and Bean sent it quickly through the Wildwood sky for a home run. Corabellis is thrown out on a ground ball to short for the second out of the inning.
And Anthony Corabellis did a good job getting down the line. The shortstop for Gateway did an outstanding job coming up with that and making a good, hard throw. Dan Ream on the play there. So there are 2 down. And again, the big blow.
And it wasn't a matter of had Bean hit it hard enough, buddy. It was whether it was high enough. The fences here at Maxwell Field are pretty high. Gruhl fouls one back. They might be as high as 12 or 15 feet high. And that was such a hard line drive and was never really hit that high. And it ended up in the street out there. Gruhl takes a ball, 1-1. Bean is set to come on to pitch, it looks like, in the 6th inning. Gruhl takes a strike, 1-2. We are tied at 3 in a game that Gateway has had all kinds of opportunities to really put a lot of runs on the board, and Wildwood has wiggled out of quite a few jams in this game. Gruel pokes one to right center. Will it hang up long enough? No. And he's got a base hit. And the ball gets past the outfielder, and he's going to end up at second in scoring position with 2 outs. So make it a single and an error on the right fielder, Shane Hughes. And now Kevin Wright bats with a chance to knock home a go-ahead run here. Olaf Ferrier will pinch run for Gruel. Gruel has reached base all 3 times. He's got 2 singles and a walk. Also stole a base before he came out for a courtesy runner. And now it's Kevin Wright, who's 0 for 2, 2 ground outs to the right side, 1 to first base, 1 to the second baseman.
And Kevin
takes a ball inside.
Kevin Wright is due. He steps to the plate hitting .283. There's no time then right now for the senior.
Ball high, 2-0 to Kevin Wright.
Bill Boley, Jr. is on the on-deck circle.
Ball 3, that ball's in. So Kevin Wright way ahead in the count.
Oh, I said in the top of the 5th, Wildwood needed something to put. They were a little flat, Brian. They needed something to energize them.
Well, that home run will certainly do it. Ball 4 high. Kevin Wright takes a 4-pitch walk, and the Warriors now have runners on first and second with 2 outs. Billy Boley coming to the plate. He is 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out to the mound. And now it looks like the pitching coach for Gateway will come out. And Josh Marsden for Wildwood is in the hitting cage, and he's a right-handed batter here. But it doesn't look like it looks like they're going to stay with Boley batting against the left-handed pitcher here, and maybe Marsden would come on to pinch hit for someone else later in the inning if Boley can keep it alive.
Well, Coach Rich Hans takes advantage of the opportunity, comes down from the third base coaching box to have a conversation with Billy Boley about what he would like to see him, try and keep him in the right mindset. Lefty versus lefty, and the pitching coach or the coach for Gateway has left the playing field. So, yes, they do stick with Nick Ruiz.
Here's Boley. Takes a ball low and away. That's 5 straight balls out of the strike zone by the left-handed starter for Gateway, Nick Ruiz.
I'm sure they have the take sign here until he throws a strike.
Oh, that looked like a balk. Wow, Ruiz really flipped up the leg. And almost looked like he was coming home there, buddy, and then whirled towards second base.
Yeah, I would have called a balk.
Ball 2 to Boley. It's up high.
He definitely made a motion that he was coming to the plate.
And now
wow,
the first baseman, Zach Reddy, comes in to talk to Ruiz. Ruiz certainly, buddy, looks a little rattled after that.
Well, he wasn't even aware that Reddy was coming in from the first base area.
Right.
Even though Reddy did call time. And the pitch wouldn't have counted, but Ruiz was ready to throw.
And Gateway attempts a kind of a fake pickoff play there.
Well, the first baseman wasn't even behind Wright, was not covering.
Boley takes a strike now as Ruiz finds the plate after 6 straight balls. First and second, 2 outs. Wildwood has 2 runs in on Brendan Bean's 2-run home run. We are tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Boley swings, hits a foul ball down the left field line, and it will go out of play. So 2-2 to Billy Boley. Left-handed hitting junior and the number 3 pitcher on this Warrior staff, which has had a good year throwing the baseball from the mound. 2-2 pitch, way high, 3-2, and now the runners can get moving with 2 outs And a base hit here would almost, to the outfield, would almost certainly score Feria from second, as the runners can be off on the pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. Ball 4, low and outside. And Josh Marsden will come up to pinch hit for Mikhail Poteet in the 5th.
Marsden, the pinch hitter, as you called, he is hitting 196.
But, buddy, he's gotten a little bit more playing time and has produced a little bit as the season has gone on. And he's got some power. I was at a game a couple of weeks ago. He hit a ball in right center field for a double. A hard line drive. Oh. Josh Marsden, the pinch hitter for Mikhail Poteet. Poteet will probably stay in the game and re-enter. Ball high to Marsden. And Marsden, I'm sure, has been instructed to stand there and take pitches until you get a strike.
Yeah, and anything close, take it off the body.
Ball low, 2-0.
And as you said, Nick Ruiz, now Coach Frank Alloway is going to come out from Gateway, from the dugout, to have a chat. And here comes Randy Sturm sprinting in from the first base coaching box.
He just ran harder there than he ever did on the soccer field at Lower Cape May.
Absolutely. Wow. He was sprinting to come in to have a little chat.
So,
with Josh Marsden, now Coach Rich Hans grabs him.
Ruiz's day is done, buddy. And in the middle of a count, Gateway is going to go to a new pitcher. And this is the shortstop, Dan Ream, moving in from shortstop to pitch. And
this is a tough spot to come into, that's for sure.
Yes.
A 2-0 count, bottom of the 5th, bases are loaded, and we are now tied at 3. So Dan Ream, as Brian had said, will move from the shortstop position, will take the ball out of Nick Ruiz's hand and take on Josh Marsden, who steps to who's pinch hitting with a 2-0 count. There is no room for error right here for Dan Ream.
I'll tell you, buddy, here's something I don't understand here. Ream is coming in from the shortstop position, and Connor Flynn is moving over to shortstop. And, okay, now I got it. The new player is Frank Orsino. He's taking ground balls at third base. Or Zach Orsino. Excuse me. So 2-0 to Josh Marsden as Dan Ream will inherit a 2-0 count with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the 5th. First offering for Ream is high for a ball. 3-0 to Josh Marsden, and I don't think there's any question, buddy. He's going to be taking 2 pitches here.
Absolutely. And watching Dan Ream when he was warming up, Brian, he wasn't really finding the plate.
Low, ball 4. And Marsden never takes the bat off his shoulder against 2 different pitchers and gets an RBI bases-loaded walk.
Well, and again, watching Dan Ream as he was warming up when he came in, it wasn't like he had some sort of fluidness or continuity when he was throwing to the catcher in his warm-ups. He was high and wide.
Ian France, buddy, is coming in to bat for Justin Soto.
And Ian France, another sophomore for the Warriors. And
he takes a ball.
I've seen France hit the ball hard in a couple of different games for extra bases. So he's another one with a little bit of he's got some power and some punch.
Wildwood leads 4-3 now in the fifth. And Ream throws a strike. France fouls it off, and that's why France was swinging there, but looked like a strike anyway. Fouls it off. It's 1-1. 2 outs in the fifth. Bases loaded. Wildwood ahead 4-3. A 2-run homer by Brendan Bean and a bases loaded walk have led to 3 runs for the Warriors in this inning. Base hit up the middle. Ian France will get a 2-run single. A big pinch hit for the sophomore, and Wildwood leads it 3.
A big pinch hit for the big guy, number 26. What a fluid swing, and he just went with that right back up the middle, right past the diving second baseman. 2 runs come in for the Warriors. And now Soto will go out to pinch run.
Well, he'll re-enter the game. France batted for Soto. Soto will re-enter in that spot, and what a big hit for the sophomore, who's actually, his role on the team, buddy, was more as the number 4 pitcher, but he has shown an ability this year to swing the bat.
Absolutely,
and that's a hard single to center field.
I've seen him hit. In previous games, Brian, he's hit some balls in the gap. He's got a nice swing, and he's really coming on as the year has progressed. And that's what you want to see a sophomore do. Now, obviously, you think this is going to be a confidence builder for him going forward?
So first and third, 2 outs in the inning. Soto at first. Batting now is the leadoff man, Andrew Mormilly.
And Wildwood, a big 5-run inning so far here in the bottom of the fifth.
Strike is taken. Soto moves up the second base on the play.
Count is now 1-1.
So runners on second and third.
The scoreboard says 2-0. The umpire puts up both index fingers to indicate it is a 1-1 count. Outside, and Andrew Mormilly, good job, good eye right there. That was a close, but it was off the plate. Wow.
Ball 3. So it's 3-1 to Andrew Mormilly, and then you're looking at the meat of Wildwood's lineup coming up here if Mormilly can get on.
You could tell that was going to be a ball when it left Dan Ream's hand, and it did. It left it. Came in very high. Now that pitch there is called a strike. And I would guess that Andrew had the take sign, which.
So 3-2 with 2 outs. Wildwood leads 6-3. Still runners on second and third here in the last of the fifth. Andrew Mormilly. Oh, an error at shortstop.
And here,
Here comes Soto to the plate. 1 run scores, and Soto is safe. Andrew Mormilly is caught in a rundown between first and second. He will be out, but Wildwood tacks on 2 more runs on that error at shortstop, and they now lead it 8-3 after 5 innings.
And again, that's all Andrew Mormilly needs to do. Hit the ball hard, make the other team make a play. And in that instance, they didn't make a play. And what's the end result? Which what he thought when he was leaving the batter's box was going to be a ground out. The shortstop came up too quickly, did not glove the ball. And Coach Hans sending Soto from second very aggressively, but watching the reaction of the shortstop who did not play the ball and then didn't really go after it hard, and Soto's able to score on what was basically an error at short from second. So Wildwood able to plate 2 runs. Very big inning would be an understatement right there for the Warriors, that bottom of the fifth. They scored 7 times.
And now Brendan Bean will come on to pitch for Wildwood. Boley, the DH, moves to first base.
Greg Freeman just tried to order 2 hot dogs and a pretzel and a Coke. The goat checking on us, making sure we're okay, I guess. So again, Brian, a big inning right there. And, I'd said in the top of the 5th, I thought the Warriors were a little flat. They needed someone to provide some energy. And did Brendan Bean, he could have gone to Atlantic City Electric. The charge he put in that ball as he ripped that 2-run homer to tie it up. And from that point on, Wildwood really was able to take advantage of every opportunity that Gateway gave them, taking advantage of walks, a couple of errors, some base hits in between. And now Brendan Bean on the mound for the Warriors to start the top of the 6th.
Ryan Teshko, the number 2 hitter. And he takes 2 balls immediately to start the inning. And it's certainly a situation where, Bream wants to come in here and throw strikes. The first strike will most likely be free. He gets one there. Wildwood, what a stunning turn of events as they score 7 times in the 5th to take an 8-3 lead. And now Bean comes back with 2 quick strikes and evens the count 2-2 against Ryan Teshko, the number 2 hitter, who is 1 for 3 in the game, also reached on a fielder's choice. Strike 3 called, right inside corner at the knees.
Well, Brian, Brendan Bean comes out to take the hill, and he's going to be unbelievably amped up after hitting that home run, that whole turn of events where they score 7 runs. So those first 2 pitches, then he's able to get back in his zone after throwing the 2 balls. And, man, did he throw 4 straight strikes now.
Yeah, he starts Kevin Teshko off with a strike. He's 1 for 2, has reached all 3 times. Double, a walk, and a fielder's choice. That ball's high, 1-1.
He is throwing very hard.
It looks like he's got a little more zip than he had on Friday in the win over Pensgrove. Bean pitched the first 6 innings of that game, and he didn't have an easy inning out of any of the 6. That ball's low, 2-1. Again, 8-3 Wildwood here in the top of the 6th.
Group 1 semifinal baseball playoff action right here at Maxwell Field.
Kevin Teshko fouls that one back. It's 2-2. And again, buddy, I talked earlier. Gateway had left 9 runners on base through the first 4 innings. Ball low, and that kept Wildwood in the game. And trailing 3-1, the Warriors put 7 on the board, ignited by Brendan Bean's long 2-run homer. Another foul ball by Teshko. Count is full.
That might have been a little low, but Teshko doing a good job protecting.
Scoreboard says 2-2, but the count is full. I wonder if Bean would have the guts to throw a 3-2 hook here. Fastball struck him out. Inside corner at the knees again.
And Kevin Teshko did not like that call. He was making his way down to first base. He thought it was a ball, but the umpire thought otherwise, so he gets caught looking. 2 outs, 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Brendan Bean.
Here's Dan Ream, who's 0 for 2. He did walk. And he hit the ball well twice on his 2 outs, both fly outs to left field. One of them was a line drive, and the other one was a long fly that was caught in front of the warning track. 1-1 now to Ream as that curveball was in the dirt. Two 2-1 pitch from Bean is high and outside. Or 1-1 pitch, excuse me. It's now 2-1.
Coach Rich Hahn's telling his pitcher just to remember you have a 5-run lead. When you're out there throwing, doesn't hurt to let him hit it. Don't worry about trying to overpower everybody. It's easy to say from the bench.
Ball 4. So Ream walks. Bean struck out the first 2 hitters of the inning looking. And Dan Ream walks now with 2 outs. So Gateway has had runners on base now in every inning of this game. Here's a ball to Zach Reddy. There's a strike. So Bean finds the zone there. It's 1-1.
The Warriors have yet to have a 1-2-3 inning in this game this afternoon.
Outside, 2-1. Popped up. This might be a tough play in a tough area of the outfield. Kevin Wright comes on and makes the catch. Called off the right fielder and the second baseman at the last moment and comes in and makes the catch, and Wildwood gets out of the inning. And they are now 3 outs away from going to their first ever South Jersey Championship game. They lead at 8-3. After 5.5, they come to the plate to bat in the 6th of the inning.
Well, and again,
Gateway, even though that home run obviously tied the game, they were still in decent shape there.
Absolutely. And you got to give credit with 2 outs. Like you said, the catcher, Jimmy Grau, who's played a phenomenal game here this afternoon, he got that rally started after the home run.
Chris Moore-Milley, a deep fly ball to center, and it's over the center fielder's head. And he's going to try for 3, and he's safe. A sliding triple for Chris Moore-Milley, and again, the wind wreaked havoc on that fly ball. It bounced off the warning track. And Wildwood in a position here where they can score even more runs as they lead 8-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. And Brendan Bean, whose last swing resulted in a 2-run homer to right center field, stands in the batter's box.
And he has 3 RBIs here this afternoon.
Curveball by Ream is inside.
Nobody out. Wildwood has a runner on third. Brendan Bean at the plate.
Ground ball, base hit. Hard hit grounder, and Brendan Bean now with 4 RBIs in the game.
And Brendan Bean, again, did a good job. He just stayed right on top of that, got the barrel on it, and smashed a hard ground ball in between first and short. That drives in Chris Moore-Milley. And Wildwood adds to their lead.
Anthony Corabella stands in. He takes a ball.
Anthony Corabellis is 0 for 3, hitting at .317. 0 for 3 here this afternoon. The senior would like to get himself off the offer.
Ground ball foul down the third baseline. Curveball away to Corabellis. It's now 3-1 to the senior left fielder. number 4 hitter for the Warriors, is 0 for 3. So Corabella certainly looking to get a knock here. Takes a fastball for a strike. 3-2. And with nobody out, you wonder if Wildwood would try to be aggressive here, buddy, and send the runner.
I would think normally maybe.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Bean doesn't go, but the ball was lined into right field for a hit. And now Wildwood, with a run in this bottom of the 6th, leading 9-3, has runners on first and second with nobody out. And that'll bring up James Gruhl, who has reached all 3 times in this game. He's got 2 singles and a walk.
And Wildwood is going to put a courtesy runner in for their pitcher, Brendan Bean, number 19.
Bean is 2 for 3. 4 RBIs in this game. And, of course, that 2-run homer. He has an RBI ground out and an RBI single. Here's James Gruhl. First and second, nobody out. Ream turns and throws the second. And, that looked like a balk too, buddy. And Rich Hans, the Wildwood coach, he at this point when you're winning a game 9-3 in the 6th, you really don't want to start chirping at an umpire. And it looked like he kind of walked toward the field and then whirled and came back.
Well, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he's just going to let that one go. And
they're going to make another pitching change is Gateway, as Coach Frank Alloway is signaling for his left fielder to come in now and take the mound for Dan Ream.
So this is
J.D. Camerano was the courtesy runner. He's the runner that came in for Brendan Bean.
right.
So he is now on second base. He's the one that drew that pickoff throw from Ream.
Year.
Which part? We were talking, before, in between Friday and today, before the game. And, obviously Brendan Bean being a sophomore, and as, everyone has pointed out, that was his first home run. It was all, and sometimes once they punch through that first one, you knock out the first one, then the floodgates kind of open.
Mm-hmm.
And, because it's partly as much physical, but it is also mental, the aspect of the game. And once you punch that one through, now we're going to see what really is going to happen throughout his career.
And for those listening locally, as we have this pitching change here, a couple things to announce. Carissa Scott, Lower Cape May softball player, Kevin Laffey, Wildwood Catholic baseball player, both recorded their 100th career hits in their last ever high school games. Here's a passed ball, inside pitch. That ball certainly should have been caught by the catcher, but goes to the backstop. And that'll move both runners up to second and third. And Wildwood with a 9-3 lead here, a run in the 6th, and nobody out. Kind of remarkable that last inning with 1 out and just a runner on first, Wildwood was trailing this game 3-1. It's a ball low and away. And, buddy, obviously this is the first time that we've seen this Gateway team this year, but you can certainly see that, control issues from their pitchers have certainly been an issue for them and probably have contributed to a lot of their losses. Here's a bouncing ball in the infield. That's going to score a run. James Gruhl will get an RBI on the ground out to shortstop as J.D. Camerano scores.
And it is now a 10-3 Warrior lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
And buddy, that's one of those right there that's a productive out right there. You put the ball in play and you get a run home. And I mean, look, I know it's a 7-run game, but this is a state playoff game. I'm kind of surprised that Gateway doesn't have their infield up. They conceded that run in the middle of the infield, and it looks like they're going to concede a second run here on a grounder in the middle of the infield. Kevin Wright takes a strike. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
Well, you bring out 2 good points on that last run.
Good swing there by Wright, and he fouled it back. That was his best cut of the game.
And right here, with the infield playing back, at regular depth. And sometimes the team, they come in here with a 9-13 record. They had a monster win against Riverside, knocking off the 1 seed. I'm not saying that they're happy to be here, but sometimes.
Yeah, I understand exactly. Here's a ball high and away. Corabella's at third with 1 out in the inning. Warriors have 2 runs in here in the 6th. They have scored 9 runs over the last 2 innings and certainly have a chance for more here in the bottom of the 6th. Well, Wright swings and misses. And as good as his last swing was, he was late on that one. And he strikes out. And that'll bring up Billy Boley, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And this is going to be a tough spot for Boley, buddy, the left-handed batter, batting against the side-wheeling left-handed pitcher. Boley takes a pitch for a strike, and he bailed out so far he was almost sitting in the Gateway dugout.
Yeah, that was a absolutely the junior that time.
Devin Farron, the left-hander, spins another curveball in there for a strike. Wildwood leads 10-3 here in the 6th. Boley, ground ball to second, and he'll be retired and the inning is over. Wildwood plates 2 more runs in the inning.
Now with a comfortable 10-3 lead going to the top of the 7th. 3 more outs. Brendan Bean going to the hill. That's all the Warriors need. 3 more outs, and they will move on to the South Jersey Group 1 championship game.
But the one thing that you always have to stress to kids is, just because you have a lot of people back does not guarantee that you're going to have success. Someone could get hurt. Anything could happen. And when you have your opportunity, you got to go grab it. And Wildwood right now is 3 outs away from playing in its first ever South Jersey championship game and 3 outs away from the program's first ever 20-win season. Bean fires a ball. Two and 0. This is Mike Tohansen, who is in the game now, batting in this 5th spot. There's a strike by Bean.
Yeah, the last thing Brendan Bean wants to do here in the top of the 7th is walk batters.
Gets a foul there on a fastball down the middle. 2-2 to Mike Tohansen. 2-2 pitch from Bean. Low in the dirt. Full count.
And Bean was not happy with himself on the location of that pitch.
Ball 4. Certainly not what he wanted to do there. So that's going to put the leadoff runner on. And yeah, this is a situation here, buddy. Up 10-3 in the 7th. I don't even know why Wildwood would hold this runner on. Billy Boley moved over to the first base bag. You wonder if the Warrior coaching staff will just tell him to play behind the runner. And it looks like Gateway's going to bring in a pinch runner. And that'll be Ryan Lightcap.
And, excuse me, Bill Boley will be holding the runner on.
Kind of surprises me. There's a strike
And
to Devin Farron.
the left-handed batter steps to the plate.
Farron is yet to be retired in the game. He's 2 for 2 with a walk and a couple of runs scored. Oh, they got him picked off. I guess that's why they held him on. And Wildwood executing this rundown very, very well. And, oh, they missed the tag. Wow. Lightcap went right around Justin Soto.
No, it was actually Andrew Mormilly.
Oh, Andrew Mormilly, excuse me, yes.
Soto is out of the game because Chris Mormilly took the shortstop spot.
Right.
After he was done pitching. Well, again, the Omer Appliance broadcast jinx.
Right.
They were.
One strike to Farron. That's outside, 1-1.
It was a textbook rundown until we went to turn the final page, and it was blank.
Well, there's a ball. Having this game on tape, buddy, Andrew Mormilly can go to school on that, in that there's no reason to go reach for that runner. You let him come to you in that situation. Two and one. Now 2-2 on the strike. Devin Farron at the plate. Wildwood ahead 10-3, no outs in the seventh. Warriors 3 outs away from their first South Jersey final. Ground ball to first. Boley flips late to Bean, and they call him safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Indecision that time by the junior, Billy Boley. He could have beat that. He needed to take that himself.
And Rich Hans is going to call time and come out and talk to his players here. And, you know, two defensive miscues have led to first and third with nobody out.
I think this would have been a good time to have a clip mic on the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, Wildwood, and you had said it, they just need to take care of business and got to concentrate all the way through. The game is not over, and you give these guys an opportunity. You know, it's 10-3. There's nobody out. We have runners on first and third.
Well, you're in a situation here, buddy, now where you got the 8-9 hitters up, and I'm sure Rich Hans, you know, let's concentrate on getting one out at a time and going after these hitters and not necessarily worrying about the runners on base. You certainly aren't going to worry about the runner on third. And a pinch hitter here for Gateway. Bean's first pitch is a strike. And the hitter is Mark Scambia. Bean tosses over to first. Farron is back safely. Scambia is batting for the catcher, Mark Hausman. Strike two on a fastball on the inside part of the plate. So Bean ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Curveball. Chop, and it's off Poteet. That's going to score a run. And Gateway now has runners at second and third with nobody out.
And you can hear the Gateway faithful starting to make a little noise.
Well, that is not a very good job there. And I don't know if Bean shook off the sign or if that was the sign, but the pinch hitter Scambia looked like he wanted no business of Brendan Bean's fastball, and Bean threw a hanging 0-2 curve. There's a ball low. Connor Flynn at the plate. Flynn is 1 for 2 with a walk. 2-0. All of a sudden, this game's getting interesting here. Still 10-4 Wildwood, but Gateway with runners on second and third with nobody out. 3-0. And the top of the Gateway lineup is up next.
They're going to turn the lineup over. And, again, not the way that this was drawn up.
Ball 4.
And I hate to say it, Brian, but none of those pitches were close. Brendan Bean and Jimmy Grau, they need to get back on the same page and get that zone.
Here's Shane Hughes, the leadoff hitter. Takes a strike. He is 1 for 4 in the game, also reached base on a fielder's choice. Ground ball to Poteet. Fires, and he's safe. Infield single for Shane Hughes, and a run scores. And it's now 10-5.
Wow.
And the tying run is in the on-deck circle. This is amazing. Ball inside to Ryan Tesko. Boy, this has a very uneasy feeling right here. Wildwood ahead 10-5, but Gateway has the bases loaded with nobody out. There's a strike. There's been a couple of unfortunate bounces in this inning. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2, and this is right here where Bean really could use a strikeout.
And the third base coach, Coach Frank Allowell, comes in. Alloway, excuse me, comes in to talk to his batter.
So 0 and 2, 1 and 2 to Tesko.
Oh.
Wow, looked like Wildwood really wanted that one. It was a curveball. I don't think Gruel did a very good job of framing that one.
And Tesko did a good job of checking his swing.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Oh, ball 3.
Full count now with the bases loaded, nobody out.
And again, buddy, you're up 5 runs. I just think you got to go fastball. Ball 4.
Wow. And that was high. That wasn't close. It is now 10-6. Wildwood on top, but the Gators, the tying run now comes to the plate. And Kevin Tesko, Kevin is 1 for 3. And he has also walked in this afternoon's game. And this is why they play 7 innings.
There's no question. Tesko takes a ball. That wasn't close. And Bean is having all kinds of problems finding the strike zone. 3 walks in the inning. 2 errors. And there's ball 2.
And that was high and outside.
Ball 3. This is amazing.
Now what do? Do you think about going to Billy Boley?
Yeah, I don't know. Bean has lost the strike zone here. Finds one there. 3-1 now to Kevin Tesko. I think this one's going to be free too. Oh, he fouled it off. He swung at it 3-1. It was a strike. (10-6). Wildwood on top of Gateway. But the Gators are threatening. Pop up. And Mormilli makes the catch. That was a circus catch in the wind. What a nice play. And, buddy, honestly, I don't think the umpire ever signaled for infield fly there because Mormilli never made it look like he was under it for a routine play. So if that ball had dropped, that would have been a base hit.
They did not. The field umpire did not invoke the infield fly rule, and you're correct. It was because of the route that the ball was taken up high in the air and the way Andrew Mormelli was trying to get under it.
Here's Dan Ream, 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Bean starts him with a strike. He's the cleanup hitter. Fouls one off. He's up 0-2. Now this would be a huge spot for a strikeout here for Bean. Bean shakes off a couple of pitches. Ooh. Fastball high.
One and two.
1-2 to Dan Ream. The pitch. Curveball. Wow. Got him. Locked him. The best curveball of the day so far for Brendan Bean. And another huge strikeout there. And now Gateway's down to its last out. They still have the bases loaded. And here's Zach Reddy, who's 0 for 4 in the game. He did fly out to center last inning in a and on a ball that was a very difficult play. Kevin Wright came running on. It was kind of in no man's land in right center. And Reddy wanted to go down and talk to his coach, and the umpire said, no, you've already had too many conferences this inning.
He actually said you're out of timeouts.
Yeah.
Defensive timeout.
Did they have any were they fulls or 30s that they used? 1-1 now. Fastball on the outside corner there. Wildwood 1 out away from going to the South Jersey Championship game. Ball outside, 2-1 to Zach Reddy. Reddy helped Bean there. That might have been ball 3. Swings at a high fastball. And now Wildwood 1 strike away. 2-2. 2 outs, bases loaded in the 7th. Curveball. Got him to end the ball game. And Wildwood will go to the South Jersey Championship game with a 10-6 victory.
2 caught lookings to end the game on their 4 and 5 hitters with the bases loaded. The tying run was at the plate. And 2 big curveballs by Brendan Bean.
Versus Haddon Heights. Haddon Heights won 8-1.
And so a win for Wildwood as they take it 10-6 here at Maxwell Field. And it got a little dicey in the 7th, but the Warriors hang on as Brendan Bean records 3 straight outs, 2 of them by strikeout. And Wildwood is going to play Haddon Heights on Friday at Haddon Heights. Haddon Heights beat Pennsville 8-1 in the other semifinal. So the Warriors get out of trouble in the 7th, and they win 10-6 over Gateway, and they will go on to the South Jersey Championship game.
And a great job, for the Wildwood Warriors. Again, trailing most of the game till the bottom of the 5th inning. They were down 3-1. They were kind of playing a little flat, a little lifeless. Then number 28, Brendan Bean, steps to the plate with a man on first, and he hit a rocket, just a bullet. He crushed a ball over the right center field fence, ties the game at 3. And from that point on, then the Warriors really seemed to find themselves. They were energized, and they had a big 7-run 5th inning, and that was the key to the game. So, hats off to the Warriors. Gateway came down here, and they certainly didn't make it easy, Brian.
No, and again, buddy, they looked like the better team through 4.5 innings, and then, Bean's swing and then a bunch of walks, a key hit by Ian France, a costly error, and all of a sudden, Wildwood was in control of this game. It got a little dicey in the 7th, but then Brendan Bean, after allowing 3 runs, retires 3 straight batters in order, 2 of them by a strikeout looking, and Wildwood wins it 10-6 over Gateway. We're dead in the water, and then you had one mighty swing in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to do my thing, Wasn't trying to do too much. Just trying to get that guy in first base in scoring position, or maybe even score him. And saw my pitch, and I just I let it go. And good things happen when I swing the bat hard. Squared it up. I can't ask for anything more than that. So
and then later in the inning, Gateway gets an out, and then it's 3-3, 2 outs, nobody on base. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of walks, a huge hit by Ian France, a big error, and you guys have a big lead.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. Ian came through huge. I mean, we knew he could do it all year. He's come in clutch for us before, and that was, playoff baseball, 2 outs, bases loaded, base hit up the middle. You can't ask for more than that. That was unbelievable.
And then the 7th inning got a little dicey there, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Made a couple errors, We just have to clean that up going into Friday. But, errors are going to come. We handled adversity well. We've been doing it all year. So I'm excited to see what happens Friday. Really
20 wins and in a South Jersey championship game. It doesn't get any better than this, does it?
Oh, no, it's unbelievable. It's awesome to be with this team, this coaching staff. It's unbelievable. All these fans out here supporting us every game. I can't wait to do it. Setting school records, setting personal records. It's just unbelievable.
All right, well, congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You got it. Yeah, they'll Haddon Heights an 8-1 winner over Pennsville, and as Buddy talked about it, we said it earlier. Brendan Bean, 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs, and of course that big 2-run homer that kick-started what turned out to be a 7-run 5th inning, and then Bean kind of did a little bit of a high wire act in the 7th inning. 3 walks and a couple of Warrior errors, but then he induced a pop-out that Andrew Mormilli really made a good play on a real tricky wind, and then struck the number 4 and 5 hitters out looking to end the game. So Wildwood wins it by 10-6, and they will play in their first ever South Jersey championship game. And I'll tell you, buddy, this was a lot of fun to be able to do this. We don't get to do baseball broadcasts, and happy to be here to do this for the school and for the program. And they get a big win. They'll play in the South Jersey title game for the first time. They improved to 20-11, first 20-win season in school history. And you got to really feel good for Coach Rich Hans and this Wildwood team, which is really, it's one thing to roll out a good team once in a while, but the one thing that they've done here, buddy, is they've really built themselves a competitive program. And they even beyond here, they look like they're set up to be pretty good even next year and beyond. So congratulations to them. And
yeah, it was a great afternoon of baseball, and the weather cooperated, the Warriors cooperated. Gateway came down and gave them a good run for their money, but you got to really take your hats off, tip your caps to the Wildwood Warriors as they advance on to their first ever South Jersey championship game.
All right, so for Matt Ulmer, who did a great job with the video dealing with the windy conditions up on the scaffolding down the third baseline with his camera, and for Buddy Tarbot, and I'm Brian Kniff, thanks for joining us for this internet broadcast as Wildwood wins it 10-6, and they will move on to the South Jersey Group 1 championship game on Friday at Haddon Heights. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations to the Wildwood High School baseball team.